There we go. All right. Um, we'll have some time for questions at the end during the Q&A session. So if you want to ask a question, you can raise your hand using the Zoom feature at the end, and you can unmute when we call on you during the Q&A. We'll keep everybody muted during the presentation so that we've got clear audio, but don't worry, we'll leave plenty of time for discussion and questions at the end. First off, thank you for everything you each did last year to help grow the Reese Across America mission. Your dedication truly made a difference. Together, we made 2024 one of our best years yet. Thanks to your hard work, we honored nearly 3.1 million veterans with a remembrance wreath and had over 4 million volunteers to help us do that. Take a moment to check out the impact we made together last year. As you can see, we had 784 new locations, which is an all-time high. In 2025, we anticipate that we'll exceed 5,000 locations and continue that growth. We're working hard to create new tools and strategies to help make your outreach efforts even more successful this year and to help all of our existing groups and locations reach their sponsorship goals. Stay tuned as we'll be covering everything you need to know in this webinar to get started strong for the new year. As we reflect on the spirit of service and resilience, we're proud to announce our theme for 2025, Keep Moving Forward. And I'm going to turn the time over to Amber Karen. She's going to explain that a little bit.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amber. I'm the communications director here. I think anyone who's been involved with Reads Across America for a little bit now knows that we update our theme every year. And the mission always remains the same. Remember the fallen, honor those who serve, and teach the next generation the value of freedom. And the theme is an opportunity for us to basically go a little bit deeper. It gives us something for us all to kind of join in on and focus our energies on for the year. And if you recall, last year's theme was Live with Purpose. And that really came from conversations around what is a veteran's wreath, the characteristics that make up a veteran's wreath, that poem that was originally written by our founder, Morrill Worcester. And last year, we were really excited to be able to share stories of how individuals and groups are living with purpose every day while aligning to each of those individual attributes that make up a veteran's wreath. We thought it was fitting this year to continue that theme to some degree. That original poem that was written by Morrill was actually written for Mary and Lloyd Byers. Mary and Lloyd Byers are the parents, the Gold Star parents of Joshua Byers, Captain Joshua Byers, who was killed in action. And Keep Moving Forward were his last words to his unit after hitting an explosive device. And basically him telling his group, his unit, to continue to move forward kept them alive. And so his family has really used that as kind of I guess, their theme for their life, right? Keep moving forward. And so when we talk about resilience and we talk about service and sacrifice and success, we really feel like this is a continuation of that Live with Purpose theme. So we're excited to be focusing on that idea as well as that positive energy as a group nationwide. We'll be doing later this month, probably early March, we'll have a video that we'll be releasing with the Byers family. And we'll be focusing on stories of resilience all year round. And we'd love to hear from you, whether that's through Reads Across America radio interviews. We encourage you, if you have stories to share, to please reach out. But we think that's a really positive, actionable theme for this year. So it's going to resonate and kind of be a thread in everything that we do all throughout the year.
Awesome. Thank you, Amber. As we look ahead to this year, we're excited to announce National Reese Across America Day will be held on December 13th. So mark your calendars and save the date. For Reese sponsorships to be guaranteed for shipment this year, they must be received by the cutoff date for your region. For regions 3 and 4, the cutoff is Friday, November 28th. For regions 1, 2, and 5, the cutoff is Monday, December 2nd. We'll remind you of these dates as we get closer and share more information about how that will look this year. Just mark your calendars and know the dates. And actually, it's Monday, December 1st, not the 2nd. Sorry about that. Wreaths Across America's mission doesn't stop after National Wreaths Across America Day each December. It runs all year round. We support communities nationwide in their efforts to serve and honor veterans and teach the youth about the importance of what we do. If you haven't yet, be sure to check out all of the free programs offered by Wreaths Across America. These are excellent opportunities to give back to your community and expand the mission locally. Here are just a few of the year-round programs available to you. The Teach program is excellent for you to share with your local schools so they can use the free K through 12 educational curriculum to teach the next generation about the importance of remembering and honoring veterans. The Mobile Education Exhibit, also known as the MEE, is a traveling exhibit that visits communities across the nation throughout the year and spreads patriotism and a love for our country while teaching about the mission of Wreaths Across America. If it comes to a city near you, be sure to invite your community to attend. You can also request to host an MEE visit in your area. Just be sure to request it well in advance so they can include you on their route through your part of the country. The Remembrance Tree program allows you to honor your veteran loved ones by placing a dog tag on a balsam tree in the groves near Wreaths Across America headquarters in Columbia Falls, Maine, where the trees are tipped to make veteran wreaths. This gives them a living memorial all year round. Wreaths Across America Radio and all of our other resources for veterans are available around the clock. Our team has put a lot of thought into creating valuable resources for veterans and their families, and these are excellent to share with your community. Wreaths Across America Radio features inspiring veteran stories and thoughtful conversation that's geared towards supporting our veteran communities. It runs 24/7 on most major streaming platforms or online, and I highly recommend you tune in to stay up to date on what's happening in our veteran community and how we can better support them. When the slides for this webinar are added to the volunteer resource page later this week, you'll be able to click on the direct links to each program to learn more about it. You can also find each of these programs and many others on the main Wreaths Across America website in the header menu. As we look ahead to the future of Wreaths Across America, we want to explain the change to the previous 3-for-2 plan. Last month, we announced that the 3-for-2 plan would be changing to the new $5 forward plan on February 1st. If you were a 3-for-2 group, you may have already noticed the change on your dashboard. The new $5 forward plan is designed to make fundraising easier and help ensure the long-term growth of the mission. The process is simple. There's no need for calculations or tracking bonus wreaths anymore. For every wreath sponsored, your group will automatically receive $5 towards the next wreath. This change helps to simplify the process while ensuring that we continue growing our mission. It supports programs like Teach, the Mobile Education Exhibit, and Outreach to Veterans, all of which are offered free to the community. Additionally, as Wreaths Across America continues to grow, we face increasing operational costs such as shipping, insurance, and technology. The $5 forward plan helps ensure the sustainability of the mission while allowing us to honor more veterans. To give you an example of how this works, instead of earning one extra wreath for every 2 sponsored, a group on the $5 forward plan will now be able to pay it forward, receiving $5 towards the next wreath sponsorship with every wreath sponsored. We believe that this will make the process easier and more rewarding for everyone involved. It's also important to note that if your group is on the $5 back plan, or no plan, there's no changes for you. Keeping your Wreaths Across America account updated is essential so we can make sure that your orders are applied correctly and that wreath deliveries go smoothly. Every year, we ask returning groups and locations to complete the reinstatement process, which is quick and easy with just one click. This is your opportunity to update your information if needed, but feel free to make changes throughout the year, just no later than November 1st when we start to finalize everything for wreath deliveries. To keep your groups and locations active this year, simply check your email, and complete the one-click reinstatement as soon as you can. New groups and locations don't need to do anything additional this year to confirm their registration, but next year you'll have the opportunity to reinstate too. When you log into the Wreaths Across America dashboard, there are two key sections where you can update your information. The first is the registration to-dos. This is where you can update your contact details as well as your group or location information. If a section is grayed out, it just means that your regional liaison team has already confirmed this information based on your sign up or your reinstatement. But you can still click on these sections to make changes as needed. Just remember to click Save and Complete when you're all finished. And then customization to-dos are where you can personalize the Wreaths Across America page for your group or location to better engage your community and encourage more participation. If you need help with updating information or customizing your page, don't hesitate to reach out to your regional liaison team. They're always happy to help, and they're just a phone call, email, or text away. As we work together to fill the gaps in sponsorships this year, we want to make sure that you have all the tools and strategies you need to be successful with your volunteer efforts. To help with that, we've created a brand new fundraising idea guide. This guide is packed with detailed fundraising ideas and, more importantly, dives into the strategies behind outreach to help maximize your efforts and broaden your reach. The new fundraising idea guide is available right now on the volunteer resource page under marketing materials for events. We'll take a closer look at the guide in the next slide, but for now, just know it's ready and waiting to support you in your fundraising journey. The fundraising idea guide is packed with everything you need to make your fundraising efforts even more effective and successful. It kicks off with the basics, helping you understand how to get started and set goals that are realistic for your community. Then you'll find a detailed timeline broken down by season, spring, summer, fall, and winter, so you can plan ahead and make sure you're hitting all the right marks throughout the year. A big part of success is community outreach. And this guide shows you the best ways to connect with local businesses, schools, and organizations. Those partnerships are an important part to meeting your goals. We also have tips on effective communication so you can engage and inspire your supporters, keeping them motivated all year long. And to make sure that you have all your bases covered, there's a section with answers to some of the most common fundraising questions. Another big aspect of fundraising involves utilizing social media. I've got Samantha Clark here to talk to us briefly about how to get started and make the most of your social media presence.
Hi, I'm Samantha. I'm the social media coordinator for locations and groups, and my main job is to help you get started on social media and utilize your page in the best way you can to gain support and fundraise. We always suggest starting with Facebook. Has the biggest audience and it's the easiest one to use sometimes. It's always best to add me as an admin on the page, just so if you need help managing your page, if something comes up, if Facebook tries to give you any trouble, I'm able to have more of a part in helping you get it back if I'm an admin on that page. The pages are super easy to set up, and I do have instructions for you to do it yourself, but I'm happy to schedule a time to talk and we can walk through it together. It's a great way to let people know what's going on at your location and connect with your community.
Awesome, super helpful. Thank you, Samantha. One of my favorite parts of the new fundraising idea guide are all of the creative fundraising ideas There's more than 25 unique ideas broken out to help you raise more sponsorships with examples and templates to make things even easier. They even cover how to manage the costs involved in fundraising. As you all share fundraising ideas with us on the private Facebook pages and with your regional liaison teams, we'll add them to the new fundraising idea guide, making it even more valuable as time goes on. So I really encourage you to take a look at that. It's on the volunteer resource page, again, under marketing materials for events. And it's a great way to unlock the full potential of your fundraising this year. One of the most important resources available to you on the volunteer resource page is our regional map. It's located right at the top of the page, and it provides contact information for your regional liaison team. And they're here to support you every step of the way. We know your time is valuable, and we want to make sure that you're working as efficiently as possible during your time as a volunteer. Your regional liaison team is excited to help you on your volunteer journey, whether you're starting out or continuing to grow your outreach efforts. They're here to lighten the load and help you be both effective and efficient in your work. Keep in mind that because your regional liaisons assist volunteers across several states, it may take a day or two for them to respond, especially during busy times. When they do get back to you, rest assured they appreciate your patience, and they will take the time to thoroughly answer your questions and provide you with the support that you need. Their main goal is to make sure that you feel confident and empowered to succeed in our mission to remember, honor, and teach. Your success is their priority, and they're committed to helping you every step of the way. Now that you know how your regional liaison team is here to support you, I want to highlight the larger locations and groups team, which includes your regional liaisons and works together to ensure your success. Our team is dedicated to supporting you in every aspect as a volunteer and is committed to helping you fulfill our mission to remember, honor, and teach. Whether you need guidance, resources, or just someone to answer your questions, we're all here to help every step of the way. Now, as promised, we are going to open it up for questions. So if you want to raise your hand using the Zoom feature, we'll call on you one at a time.
We have a question here, Megan, in the chat asking about whether or not there's plans on hiring somebody for Region 4 to help Aloha Amber.
Yes, indeed. We are going to be working on interviews and hiring someone very soon, and we're excited to introduce them to all of you and get them up to speed quickly so they can help Aloha Amber with all of the wonderful work she does. Anthony, do you have a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. I just have one question. When will the flyers be available for our specific organization?
Sure. So the regional liaison teams, as they reinstate your group or location or sign up a new group or location, they're customizing those order forms, the tally sheets, the Wreaths Across America Day posters, and they're including it in your confirmation email. And as you know, your regional liaisons oversee a few states, and so it takes them a little bit of time to work through everything, but they're working through them as quickly as possible. And they'll send that confirmation email over to you as soon as they've processed your reinstatement. If you need something sooner, though, you can always reach out to your regional liaison team before you get that confirmation email, and I'm sure they'd be more than happy to help get that order form or Wreaths Across America Day poster to you.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. John?
Hi, this is first time to participate. I have a group of youth, actually scouts, that is getting involved with this. I see that we have a website that was generated. We've already signed up. And maybe you could brief me on how we can keep track of individual sales, but they all drive back, I guess, to that same website.
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, welcome. we're glad to have you on board.
Mhm.
And second, I invite you to join your regional liaison team for their welcome webinars. They hold them monthly, um, and those will be starting up the end of this month, and they're going to go into more depth about that. But there is a feature on the dashboard where you can add what's called member pages, and that makes it really easy for you to track all the different you said you have a scout troop, right? All the different
That's correct.
scouts. Yeah,
Yep.
so it just makes it real easy for you to track how many sponsorships each scout is bringing in.
Okay.
And you can view all of that on your wreath count report once you get it set up, and your regional liaison team can help you with that as well.
Okay. One last piece, and I'll get into it. I'll be honest with you. I haven't studied every bit of the information that's come to me, but will the sales be linked to a QR code, or can they be linked to a QR code on an individual basis?
Yeah, so we will provide you with a QR code that links to your group, like the
Right.
overall group. And then
Right.
when you set up your member pages, each of them will have their own individual Wreaths Across America page. And there's a lot of free QR code generators online. I'm sure somebody can probably drop the link to one in the chat. But
Yep.
you can always make a QR code for each of the individual pages if you wanted, so that it's
Okay.
easy for them to share and gather donations that way as well.
Okay. Got it. I understand now.
Uh-huh.
That makes sense.
Okay,
All right.
cool.
Thank you so much. Mm-hmm.
Sure thing. Ellen?
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
This is my first year also, and I was wondering about the $5. So if I sell 4 wreaths, that's $20. So then that fifth wreath is covered with $3 left over. Is that correct?
So I didn't completely follow. What plan is your group on?
Well, you said for every wreath you sell, you get $5.
Yeah, so if your group is on the $5 forward plan, for every $17 wreath that's sponsored, we will add $5 towards the next sponsorship. And you'll be able to see all of that on your account dashboard. It'll just automatically calculate for you. And you
So for
essentially just get $5 forward to the next sponsorship.
but it's not the next sponsorship, because someone could spend $17 the next sponsorship. So actually, if you sell 4 wreaths, you get 20 extra $5, and then you get the fifth wreath for free.
So we don't encourage you to promote it that way, because we want to keep it as simple as possible.
Well,
for
who's getting
our
the
sponsors.
$5? Who's getting the $5 off?
There's
So-
no $5 off. It's going to go forward to the next sponsorship.
Yeah, so it's going to be a lot like the previous 3 for 2. So it's all going to be automatic how it counts in the system. Before you'd sponsor wreath, it'd show up as like 1.5 wreaths. That's going to be similar to how it's going here. It's just the decimal point. It's going to add up a little bit differently. So the easiest way to promote this when you're out to people, like when you're trying to do the math here, the liaisons that can help you with that, trying to figure out the exact math of exactly what you need. But when you're out and you're promoting this to people, you want to just go, let them know, like for every wreath you sponsor, $5 will go forward towards another wreath sponsorship. That's just all going to be automatically added up. So you're not going to tell someone like, oh, you're going to get $5 off your wreath because someone else sponsored a wreath.
Right.
You're going to go get a wreath sponsorship for $17. And then what that does is it actually will accumulate and help get extra wreaths for your cemetery to help cover those who maybe don't have a family member that's going to be, can sponsor a wreath for them.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks, Julie. Let's see. Anthony, do you have another question, or did I already get to you?
I do. Based
Okay.
on what Gregory was talking about earlier, we're a Civitan club, and we raise money so we can support some organizations like who have IDD, intellectual and developmental disabilities, and at-risk youth organizations, and we'd like to have them sell the wreaths and track that so we can donate the money to them. How would we be able to track that?
So that's wonderful what you're doing. That is amazing. And that's exactly what the $5 back program was designed to do, is support other organizations and the good things you do. If you set up member pages for each of them, then you'll be able to see how many sponsorships they individually brought in. And then when you get your $5 back, you're able to use that in whatever way you feel is best for your organization, whether that's helping out individual members of your group or other people in your community, or the good things that you do. So you would be able to track all of that on the wreath count report by the individual group member.
So how do I set it? I'll talk to my my Region 5 team and see if they could help me get that all set up.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, thank you. I'll touch base with them after this. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Kevin?
There we go. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi. Good. How about you?
Good. This is Rick Olvin. I'm the coordinator for the group down here. Kevin and I got together and got on the Zoom here today. Question for you. I took notice last year was our second year, and after everybody had left, I started walking around the cemetery and took notice that wreaths were being laid down, and they weren't being laid down to the what I felt was a proper way. When wreaths are laid down on the grave sites, the ribbon is supposed to be at the top or the bottom.
The top.
That's what I thought. They weren't. So I went through and I adjusted all the wreaths so that they were laying in the proper order. Okay.
Well, thank you for getting those fixed. We appreciate that. And on the volunteer resource page, you might find it helpful. In the planning section is the proper wreath placement instructions.
Okay.
And it can be really helpful to print those and have those in visible places around the cemetery, so that when people go to place the wreaths, they know how to properly do it. And then that'll limit how much fixing you have to do afterwards.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I was going to try to address that after we had the ceremony. And uh-oh. Well, he's going to call back later. I ain't got time. And I was going to do that proper instruction after I did the ceremony so that everybody knew. We did take notice that we had made a mistake this past year. We had two things planned that day, and it really put us into a rush mode. We are not going to do that for this year. We're going to make sure that when we plan this, that's the only thing we got planned that day, so we can take the proper amount of time to have the wreaths placed. And the other thing is for them to find all the graves. I'm going to be putting together a committee that we're going to go to the cemetery and we're going to locate all of the veterans' graves, and we're going to mark them on paper in rows as to where they are so we don't miss none. We come back this year at the end of it, we had 2 boxes left over, and that kind of had me upset a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's a really good way to go about it. And I think you'll be able to enjoy the day a little bit more too if you're not so rushed.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. Well,
Yep.
we're going to do that, and my co-coordinator, he's a preacher down here, and he just messed up and planned 2 things for that day and really put us in a rush, and we're not going to do that for next year. We've already got out, so we're going to be good with that. But I thank you
Well,
very
that
much for your help
happens.
on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Now
Melissa?
the $5 thing though, we do 247 wreaths. Okay. So we pay for, I think we pay for 247 wreaths, but we'll get, I'm trying to figure out how that picture goes.
So on the math, if you reach out to your regional liaison team, they have a calculator. They'll calculate it all out for you. So
Okay.
if you're getting 247 wreaths, they can tell you exactly how many extra wreaths you'll get with that $5 forward on each one of them.
Okay.
So just reach out to them. They'll do the math for you and get right back to you with the total number.
Okay, great. I thank you very much, ma'am. You have yourself a fine day.
Thank you. You too. Melissa?
Sorry,
You're
technologically
good.
impaired here, apparently. I was like trying to hit the thing and just kept raising and lowering my hand instead of unmuting. Okay, so I just had a quick question. We are on the $5 back plan with
Okay.
my Civil Air Patrol squadron. And I just wanted to verify, I did recently get a check, I think 2 weeks ago. Is that the last one for December, or do we have another check coming for, like, was that the December check or was that the November check that I just got?
Hey,
It should
Megan.
say on the check. Yeah.
This is Rochelle. I was just going to say she probably received the November payback check. December year-end checks have not gone out yet. Those are
Okay.
being reconciled, and they will probably begin printing in the next 7 to 10 days, and we'll get those mailed out.
Okay, that's what I kind of guessed from the amount of the check and what I thought we had actually done and stuff like that. So I figured there was another one coming, but I wasn't 100% sure. So I just wanted to make sure that I could go back to my fundraising committee and say, hey, this is what we're expecting. So, okay, great. That's all I had. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Rochelle, for helping with that. Tina.
So my question is this, and pardon me, Amber, if you've already answered this question once. I'm new to this. I'm going into the second time. But so from my understanding, we have access to see like a summary of our people who sponsored our wreaths, the ability to access the portal basically from our side, correct?
You do, yeah. Once you create your login to the dashboard, you'll have access to everything. You'll be able to see all of your account information, customize your page, but then you'll have access to all the different reports, the research orders, where you can search by a particular order. You can look at all of them. You can thank sponsors, and the wreath count report that gives you all the details with the numbers broken out for you and everything.
Okay, so what if someone, because I am Civil Air Patrol also, and I am in Region 4, but what if someone else had already set up that information? I just need to go to them and say, hey, we need to create a login for me.
So every single person who accesses the dashboard should have their own login linked to their own email address. So as long as you are a registered group leader, then you'll have access to the dashboard as soon as you create your login using your own email address that we have on file.
Oh, okay. That answered that question. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, and you might want to jump on the volunteer resource page under volunteer tutorials. There's a dashboard tutorial that walks you through how to create that login. It's got pictures. It makes it super easy. And that might help you a little bit too. Yeah.
Okay,
Yep,
great.
me too.
Thank you.
No problem. Latonia?
Good afternoon. Can you hear me okay?
Hello. Yes, we can.
Okay. And I apologize in advance if this was covered because I know I came in on the tail end of the QR code discussion. I am part of Region 1. We have our website established already, but I'm interested in the QR code because I think that would really alleviate the need to have to share the URL, have people sign in, etc. So should I just, if I just want one QR code applied to that one site, should I just reach out to our Region 1 liaison?
Yeah. So if you reach out to your Region 1 liaison team, they can get that for you before they even finish up your reinstatement and customize
Okay.
your forms and send those over. So yeah, if you need that ahead of time, not a problem. They're happy to get that for you.
Okay.
And then once they send you your confirmation email, that will have your custom QR code on your order forms and your Wreaths Across America Day poster. So you don't even have to add anything to them. It'll already be there for you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
No problem. Barry?
Greetings from the sunny South. One comment, the gentleman was talking about making sure he had all of his veterans in the cemetery. A lot of your cemeteries will already have their veterans marked, because a lot of your cemeteries now are going through and GPS and all their graves. So that might be a good helpful thing to have going into it. The other thing, just to comment, I really like to have the Zoom meetings this time of day, because it seems like every one of them is usually on a Tuesday night, and that's when I'm committed at my VFW post every Tuesday night. So I love them in the middle of the afternoon, and this is our 4th year into the program, and it just gets to be better every year.
Well, good. We appreciate the positive feedback. Thank you, Barry. Susan, I see a hand up.
Yes, this question may have already been answered. When do you start making the wreaths? Are you making them copy? Go ahead.
You want me to answer that one, Meagan?
Yeah, do you want to answer that one, Amber?
Our wreath maker will start making wreaths. Typically, they'll start tipping in October, towards the end of October. And obviously, storing them. We're here in Maine so that they can be stored in a cold area, because these are perishable, of course, but they'll start that process towards the 3rd to 4th week of October, depending on a number of things.
Thank you. I was curious. I wondered how many and how you did so many.
We are very grateful to our wreath vendor. Does a wonderful job. They're very efficient and they do a beautiful job, and they are guaranteed. So I think I saw some comments on here too. If you had some issues with your wreaths, make sure to contact your liaison and provide photos of that. Obviously, it's a perishable product, so we want to make sure that they stay cool and not too dry.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other questions? Anything I missed in the chat? Don?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, this is my first time calling in. I work with John Fitzpatrick. We're in Region 1 in Allentown.
All right.
And we were very successful with the 3 for 2. I loved it. We also used the buy one, get one free. So we start off the year right. But I'm not sure I want to publicize the $5 back. I just think it's too confusing. And I'd rather just say it's $17 for the wreath, and then we'll have that in our back pocket for when we need it, versus trying to convince people. Before it was 3 for 2, now maybe 4. I don't know.
That's what we were talking about earlier. I wouldn't go out and say like, hey, if you sponsor 3.2 wreaths, you're going to get 1 extra wreath. That's where, like you said, it can be confusing to the general public who don't understand all the different programs. So whether you go out to them and you say, hey, for every wreath you sponsor, Wreaths Across America is going to give us $5 that's going to automatically go towards another wreath. That's how you can kind of simply say that to people. It's kind of like, we're going to get a rebate, $5 back rebate, but except for a lot easier than that, because you don't have to fill out paperwork to get a rebate. We're going to automatically apply that $5. It's going to go towards another wreath sponsorship. If you prefer to just go out and say, hey, wreaths are $17, you can do that too. When you send it in with your forms, again, it's going to automatically be applied. That's totally up to you. When you're out and about, if you start breaking into like you said, for this many wreaths, and then we'll get this many wreaths, that's going to be really confusing to the general public who's not familiar with the programs.
Yeah, we were really successful this year. We needed 1,725 wreaths, but we already had enough that we gave them to 3 other cemeteries to make them 100%.
That's awesome.
We still had 200 left, and now we're up to almost 700 by getting some of those people to tell them, You get one free. So if you're going to buy it sometime, why not buy it now? So
Yeah.
I'd also add to that, Don, one of the things I think for everyone to keep in mind is that, so no matter what, and this has always been the case, every wreath is $17 to sponsor. But with that wreath, you're also supporting the year-round mission of Wreaths Across America, which is more than the wreath. And it's all of these other programs that Meagan was talking about earlier in this PowerPoint. So when you're talking to people about supporting Wreaths Across America and sponsoring a wreath, it's important to keep in mind that, yes, the wreath is very important. We're all coming together on National Wreaths Across America Day today to place those wreaths and to hold that ceremony. But their contributions are doing so much more, right? They're continuing these free teach programs for youth all across the country. We have a mobile education exhibit. We have a museum and a Gold Star History and Hospitality House here in Maine. We have our Veterans Resource Programs, our Remembrance Tree programs. There's so much more to this mission than just the wreath. So I think if you're thinking about that, it's always good to remind people that, yes, your $17 is doing this one awesome thing and all these other things. So I think that's always good to share with people also, because it is more than a wreath. And we want to make sure that people keep that in mind all year round.
I never really found people with an issue paying the $17.
Well,
I'll
good.
use it in my back pocket. But again, people want to do it for the right cause. Like we had one company who donated, said, well, we really support your cause. We love veterans. We said, we're going to buy 100 wreaths. So that's pretty nice, no?
Yeah,
I mean,
thank you very much.
Yeah. Well,
That's amazing.
because it's the right thing to do, right? We do it because we
Wonderful.
care about our veterans. It's
Yep.
not because we're trying to, we don't make any money on it. We're just trying to do the right thing for the right people. We had like 450 volunteers come in with Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, their kids, helping us put the wreaths down on all the wreaths. It was just a beautiful day.
Beautiful community event. Sounds like
Is.
that's
So
exactly
I
the
use-
point, Don. That's exactly what
That's
that's the goal.
Most people who buy them, that's what they're doing. They're doing it because it's the right reason. There may be other stuff behind it they can do, but that's not going to sell them. They're doing it because they care about our veterans.
Awesome.
exactly. Yep.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Julia.
So we're a sponsorship group and we raise money for wreaths. That's the city cemetery is our location that we were being the sponsorship. This year we became a location sponsor for a township cemetery. Is there a way that we can raise money for both wreaths at both places at the same time? I tried adding it. It looks like I have to become a whole new person. I don't want to do that.
So yes, absolutely. So it's good to remember that sponsorship groups are different from locations. Locations are where the wreath laying ceremonies occur. And we have location coordinators that plan those events, and they involve the community and sponsorship groups in the planning and in the event itself. And then sponsorship groups are the ones that go out and do most of the fundraising, really. And they take advantage of the different group plans. Sponsorship groups can support as many locations as they want to and they're able to. So yeah, if you've got the two different locations locally that you want to support as a group, you can just reach out to your regional liaison team and they'll make sure both of those locations are listed for your group. And then when somebody goes to your page to sponsor, they can pick which location they want their sponsorship for.
Perfect.
Yep. All right, Juliet.
Hey there. Thank you all for what you do. I love your organization. Quick question. I am a personal fan of Patriot Pairs. I've loved doing that. And when I take the time to explain that to family members, they really love the idea. We had a little problem with some of our Patriot Pair orders last year. I placed the order and then you identify the grave site that one goes to, and then the other will go to the usually family member or loved one who's still living. Did you guys get any reports of some mix-ups, or has anything changed with that?
What was
it an input error?
What was the issue? Were they not placed on the grave, or did they not go get shipped to the home address?
they didn't get shipped to the home address. So I placed the order on behalf of my mother-in-law and my father-in-law who's passed, and then my dad's best friend from Vietnam. One went to his grave, and then the other matching pair was supposed to go to his home. I ended up receiving all of the matching pairs at my home. So we donated them to a local retirement home to veterans. We identified veterans there. So they were put to good use, but there was a hiccup. So I placed the order, had the identifying address and name to the pair, and then the other one to the site, the grave site. But I ended up getting them all. So I didn't know if you guys had heard feedback on that.
Yeah, so we actually had very minimal issues with that shipping. It went pretty smoothly this year. So without looking at that specific order, I don't know what happened, but if you can forward your receipt that has your order information over to your liaison, and then they'll send it on to me, and we'll just share that with our customer service team just to make sure, we always want to make sure we're troubleshooting if there's something going on our end. And if we, when we figure out what happened, we will let you know, just that way you'll know in the future too. Like if it was an input error, we can share that with you. I know it did change this year with the new website updates. It was a little different than before. So I struggled placing one of them when I was like, oh wait, this is different. So it could have been just something as simple as that, but definitely send that to your liaison so we can take a look at that and just make sure that that doesn't happen again next year. But I'm glad you found a good home for them and put them to use there.
Oh, they were, yes. And again, we love y'all.
And Juliet, too, this is
Yes.
Renee, and with the reads, they're always 100% guaranteed too. So if anyone ever has an issue with shipping or not delivering correctly, please reach out to customer service also, and we can get that rectified, track it, see what's happening, and get out a new one to kind of make sure that's resolved on that end too, and make sure the customer is always happy.
Good point. Okay, thank you. I appreciate y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy.
Hey. I was wondering if Rochelle could give us a little bit better update. I have a couple questions. One of them is, I know, believe me, I know you guys are strong. That is, I am so proud that Reach Across America is doing so well. But the summaries that you see on your dashboard, can you tell me for the year 2024 when that changes into your individual checks, so I can know that that check has been received and I can, cancel that check out? As well as question number 2 is, in 2025, the checks that are being sent in, can you tell me when those might be starting to be cashed?
Yeah, so they are currently working on unbatching all of those summary orders. So you're currently seeing a batch of checks that might have been 10 checks for, say, $1,500. You're going to see that summary order for the total amount of the checks that were mailed in. Finance has various processes that they go through to double check everything, make sure everything's correct. As they do that, they will, what they call, unbatch that summary order. And that is when they will enter each individual check onto your dashboard, and you'll see it. So those summary orders, those wreaths are already counted in your totals. It's just that the individual orders have not yet been hand entered onto your dashboard. I know they've finished reconciling 2024, so that is what they are working on. It does unfortunately take a little while. November, December is our biggest mail-in with checks period. So all of those have to go through, be scanned, looked at on the computer, then individuals look at it, physically look at each check to make sure the codes are correct. And just like with everything, it takes a while, and then they have to make sure with the sponsorship forms, tally sheets, if those are correct. If there's any information missing, we have to reach out to get that information. So they are working on it as quick as they can, and year end does take a little bit longer.
And then on the 2025 checks, when do you start depositing them?
I believe they have started depositing some. If you have a particular batch that you're looking for, just reach out to me or your liaisons. I can look at that batch and we can see what it's, if
I
it's.
just tell everybody it's going to take time, you know, relax, everything else. But I just, since you were on, Rochelle, I thought, well, I'll just ask if you
Oh,
have
no,
any
that's fine.
updates.
That's fine. And yeah, like we always say, year end does take longer. So I let everybody know it does take 8 to 12 weeks for everything to fully process into the system. And then, you know, that's another good thing is always promote your direct link, your QR code. We realize there are people who do not do the computer thing and they want to physically write that check. That's fine, but you can remind everybody Wreath Across America is a year-long mission and checks can be sent in anytime throughout the year if they want it to process quicker. Of course, if we get it earlier in the year, it goes much quicker than waiting till November, December.
Oh, I totally agree. I totally agree. You guys are a great bunch in the finance. Just tell everybody that's working on them. I totally understand and thank you so much for all your hard work, you guys.
Well, thank you for everything you guys do as well.
And just jump in there. We've had a couple people say they've had people asking about checks. So if you have any sponsors that have come to you and they're like, hey, my check hasn't cashed yet, they're getting a little antsy, share that information with your liaisons because the liaisons will reach out to, they'll go bug Rochelle with that. And Rochelle will go to finance. We can, you know, we understand that people are coming to you and they're getting antsy. They want to get that pushed through. We can help with that. We can get with finance and we try to pull those so that people don't keep coming back to. We want to keep the sponsors happy just like you do. So please don't, you know, just go, okay, it'll be fine. If you've got people who are coming to you and asking you, share the check number, the name of the sponsor, whatever information you can with the liaisons, and then we can try to get those pushed through for you guys.
And Julie, it's mainly the corporation. They do not want to do the, you know, charge it. They want the check. And
Yeah.
Yep. They have been asking me, and Amber does an excellent job. I mean, I couldn't ask for anybody nicer than Amber. So, but yeah, that's why I asked Rochelle is what's the update so I can settle everybody down down here in Arizona. So, thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, let's do one more question, Deb.
Yeah, we have a small community cemetery here in the Midwest, and so it's not all veterans. So I sent Kevin a chat message, which I don't know if he received or not, but we put pink utility flags on all the graves of veterans, which represent maybe 10% of total graves. We put them there in mid-November. It does two things. Number one, if it snows, we can still find the veteran marker because in Chicago it does once in a while. And number two, it draws attention so that people coming into the cemetery ask about it. They ask about what are all the flags out there for? Well, my grandfather was a veteran. How do I get him a wreath? So there's an idea for you, number one. And for Juliet, as for the Patriot Pairs, my father was a veteran of Korea and Vietnam, and his cemetery is not sponsored. So I have used that as a promotional tool for people who say, well, I really don't have anybody buried there. And I'm going, well, buy one from us and send one to, you know, put one on your dad's grave or your uncle's grave. I personally send 3 to my cousin, and he goes out and places them on his dad's, my dad's, and our grandfather. So that's a promotional story to tell as well. Just that's our experience after 6 years of doing this. We've had great success and hope to have even more. Thanks, guys, for sponsoring this.
Those are great ideas. Thank you, Deb. We appreciate you sharing. And Shanina?
Hi, it's Shanina. Thank you so much.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So this is our first time. I'm at a cemetery in DC, right on the border of DC. My question is, I know you mentioned something about flyers, and I had to step away. But is there like a flyer created where like I can post at the local libraries or community centers or something like that, with that QR code, so it's easier for them to just do it. As I was looking online, I do see that once they purchase it, it asks for location. Does it give them other locations, or would it just give us our location? That's the second question. I'm sorry. So 2 questions.
Yeah, no, those are great questions. So first off, the Wreaths Across America Day poster will be customized by your regional liaison team, specifically for your group and location. And it'll have the QR code on it that'll link right to your page for sponsorships. So yeah, that's an excellent tool to hang up at libraries or really visible places in your community, to gather support. And then for the second part of your question, you had 2 locations, remind me?
Well, I'm under Dignity Memorial, so we have ton in the area. But when I went on there, I was just playing around with it. I sent it to myself so I
Oh,
can see
yeah.
what other people see, and then it asks for the location. So I tried to get into it, for some reason I couldn't, but I didn't know if it was going to just show my location, because it specifically asks which location. So
Yeah, so if your group supports one location, that's what will show.
okay.
But the sponsor also will have the option to choose another location if they have, like, say they want to support your group, but they have a loved one that's buried at a different cemetery, then they can search and find the other location that they want the wreath to go to, and they can
Okay.
select that instead. But yeah, primarily the location that your group supports is what will show on the page.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Yep. Uh-huh. All right, we are just about out of time. Were there any other quick questions that we didn't get to already? Are we good to go? All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining today. We appreciate you taking the time. And if you want to mark your calendars for next month, the webinar will be on March 11th at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so go ahead and mark your calendars. We'll see you then. And we can't wait to see all the amazing things that you do in your local community this year. Thank you for all you do to help us remember, honor, and teach. Have a wonderful day.